Good afternoon. I work for Bharti Foundation, which is a corporate foundation. I come from India, and our vision is to help underprivileged children and young people realize their potential. In 2006, we started our schooling program, Satya Bharti school program, where we set up schools in the rural parts of our country, in the villages of India. These schools are completely free of cost, and they're not about literacy. They're about quality education. So we give quality education to underprivileged children completely free of cost in the villages of India. So this is what our schools look like. This is a village of India. Our schools are just 3 to 4 room schools because we use them in 2 shifts. We try and use our infrastructure to the maximum. The younger kids come in the morning, little older kids come in the afternoon, and they stay on till late evening. What you're seeing over here is most of our children are outside the school because all of you are from education sector. You know that activity-based learning is something that gets used very well in primary schools, and that is what we use over here. Second is our belief that children should engage with environment and learn through environment. So actually 30 to 40% of our learning happens outside of school. Our key features, I've talked about it already, focuses on quality education, underprivileged children. They're completely free schools. A child just has to walk in. There are no fees, his school uniform, his books, textbooks, stationery, midday meal, everything is taken care by us. And in case of girls, uniforms are very important because if they don't have proper clothes to wear, sometimes girls don't come to school because they feel very shy. So we make sure that girls get proper uniforms so that coming to school becomes easy for them. Currently, our schools are only up to class 8th and 9th, which means children up to 14 to 15 years. As soon as we get into higher classes, we will start vocational education because getting these children ready for life to make them employable is one of our key missions. What you see over here, I've given some basic statistics. We have more than 250 schools. Some of them are primary. Primary is up to grade 5, some elementary, and some senior secondary, which will go on to vocational education. This impressive building that you see over here is our first senior secondary school, which we have done in public-private partnership with the government. So government gives 50% of the capital cost, government gives 70% of the ongoing operational cost, and that's how we are building in sustainability. Currently, 38,000 children. We're just a 5-year-old schooling program. 75% of children come from disadvantaged communities. In India, we have scheduled caste, scheduled tribes, and other backward classes. These are notified backward classes. 75% of our children come from there. And a very exciting ratio, which all of you and some of you will feel particularly proud of, is 49% are girls. Although demographically, the percentage of girls is at 46, 47%, but we've made sure that all the girls in the villages where our schools are come to school and are studying. I've talked about it. We have 3 models, greenfield models, where the community, the village community gives us land. We build and operate schools. We completely fund them end to end. Second is adopted schools. So we went to the government, and nowadays government is approaching us. The schools which are not running well, they request our help. We adopt those schools and run them on behalf of the government. Third is public-private partnership, where we share financial resources with the government. To ensure quality education, and especially in the villages, we said there are 3 things that we'll focus on. Most important is engagement of parents and community with the school. Second, teachers have to be motivated and committed, and I'll talk about how we select them. And then we said, in addition to learning levels, what is very important for us is that we are bringing up right kind of individuals. We give more importance to how we are growing up our children in our schools, and I'll talk about this also. For parents' involvement, what you see over here is a parent-teacher meeting. Remember, these are poor parents, illiterate parents, although they are looking good in the photograph because a parent-teacher meeting is a big festival for them, so they come all dressed up. No teacher even bothers to tell them what is happening in the schools, how is your child doing, and this is a process which it's a very normal process in privileged schools, but in village schools, to give them that respect, to tell them where your child is weak is a big thing for them. We invite, what you see over here is mothers. It's a mother's race on sports day. So get these women out of their house to come and participate in events to race is a big thing. So they've covered their face, if you're noticing, but they're running to win the race. So we are also empowering village community around our schools. This is the most powerful story. In our schools, our guiding vision is create temples. By temples, we don't mean religious temples, but we felt that if our schools has community involvement without us having to ask for it, then we have created a school which belongs to community. What you see over here is an 80-plus old man, very poor man. His son and daughter-in-law died in an accident. He used to bring his 2 grandsons to our school. He's very poor. So he used to come in the morning on bicycle, bring grandchildren to school, throughout the day stay in our school, in the afternoon take his grandsons back. So our schools don't have a boundary wall because we try and reduce our capital expenditure. This person, this is Rajasthan, he took stones as donation from a stone quarry. Another guy gave him a tractor to carry these stones from stone quarry to our school. Over 8 months, he built this wall, boundary wall, single-handedly for our school. Obviously, village community came forward to help him, but he said, this school is giving me so much that this is my give to this school. And each of our school has a story like this. Till the time we don't feel such stories where we don't have to ask and community comes and gives us, we don't think our schools have received the acceptance in the community. This is another thing. Most of us, our children go to various camps, they get exposure to the world outside. We were thinking that what do we do for these underprivileged children who have no exposure to not only the world outside, but what are the professions that are available to them? Every year for 15 days, we hand over the school to community. Community, so 2-3 things we achieve. Community people become teachers. They come and tell these students stories about the village, village heroes, local culture. They get connected with local vocations. So what you see over here is, this is a sand art. That's a doctor. This guy is a camel, so he runs camel in his village. This guy is a postman. So these people actually come into our schools, they tell children about their profession, and actually build dreams and aspirations, and also connect them to their own community. So these children are not looking at coming out and working in big cities for job. They find their root within their village and their community. All of us know how important it is to have motivated and committed teachers. We have a very structured process of how we select teachers. There's a written exam, there is demo, and these are village girls and boys we are talking about. So they actually come and do a class demo, there are group discussions, and on ongoing basis, every year we do something called Teacher Subject Knowledge Test, where all our teachers, if they are primary school teachers, have to pass a test with class 5 curriculum, not college curriculum. We test them on the subjects that they are teaching in the class that they are teaching. And results aren't very good. It's very sad, but that's what the reality in India is. So our trainings also, since we believe in activity-based teaching, our trainings also are activity-based. So we bring in a lot of excitement and a lot of energy into our teaching through our teachers. All of you know about joyful learning. What you see there is a physical education kit. So children are learning while their games period is on. Playful, joyful learning, use of innovative teaching learning material. We don't give too much of material to our teachers. They hand create them with the help of children. This is a very interesting kit. In villages, we don't find teachers who know English well enough to teach English. So we found an NGO. They had created a wonderful radio-based English teaching program. We converted that program into CDs. And today, each of our school has a CD player with speakers. So while our teachers do not know English very well, through this CD-based program, we teach English in our schools, where teachers actually learn English along with. So like I said, holistic development for us is very important. Their communication skills, children's leadership skills, everything is built into our schools. And I'll skip to my last slide. what is very important for us is that these children, when they come out of our schools, they are change agents for their society. So each of the school, we actually train our children. They sit together in something that we call Students' Council, and they decide on an issue which is troubling them in their community. It could be child marriage, it could be drug problem. And these children then go and address what we call Gram Sabha, which is a community meeting where village leadership comes. And our children actually stand up to this village community and say, hey, we don't think this is right and we want to change it. It's not as easy as I am saying it over here. Sometimes it takes us a year, our children, it takes them a year to turn an issue around. So there have been cases of where our children have stopped child marriages from happening. There have been cases where they have stopped the use of polythene bags. In one of the schools in Rajasthan, there is a desert. They're fighting the desert. So they're planting trees. Amazing stories. One of a girl child, never gone out of village. She won an award, and she was among the top 10 children who were called to the US. And this was an award for a change agent child. So she was the only underprivileged child who reached the US and received an award from DLF Pramerica. So this is, for us, more than learning levels, what our children are achieving in community is a bigger achievement. And that's what Satya Bharti schooling program is all about. Thank you very much.
In your explanation, you mentioned that when they get to higher classes in the village, you place them in vocational schools.
We will.
But sometimes you find that there are some gifted children that may want to continue with their academics. Yes. What happens to them?
So our model on vocational education, so far it's not started, but it will start. The model is like this. We would have regular schooling classes set up to class 12. So children who want to continue studies will continue studies up to 12. Fortunately, we are part of a large corporate group. We have another arm which does vocational training. So we will outsource our vocational training to them. They will come and run it free of cost in our school. So children who cannot study further only will go to vocational. Children who are good in studies will go further in studies. And currently we're talking to some other partners. We will support them through college and their dream. So our children currently are only 15 to 16 years old. So we are getting ready for the phase that you're talking about.
Okay, I'm Ndesa Gese from Lesotho. I heard you saying that you always invite resource people to come to school to make children aware of the other opportunities that are found outside, like you invite doctors and many others to come to the school. I just want to know, how do you do that? Because as a teacher, I know that we have different levels, and what is to be taught in grade 1 is different from what is to be taught in grade 5. So, and these people that you are calling are not teachers. How do you monitor that what they are telling your students is what is required?
Yeah, agree.
And excuse me, I have another one, the second one. I heard you saying that we have teachers who do not know English, and we have engaged NGO people to record something to teach
English.
To teach English. Do they teach English to the learners, or they teach English to the teachers? Or are they doing it together, teachers sitting here with the student learning English at the same time? Of which, if it is the case, I think as a teacher, I'll feel like not being part of that, because the children will definitely undermine me if I'll be learning with them the same time, and whatever I'll be teaching them tomorrow, they will not listen. Thank you.
Okay, so I'll answer your second question first, because I remember it, then I'll move on to first question. So no, this is not, this program is not for teachers, it is for children. So we have, if I'm an English teacher, I know English, but I'm not fluent in English. So I may have done my majors in English, but I'm a village girl, so it's very difficult to speak one complete sentence. So these CDs have a voiceover, and it says open chapter number 1. So I'm a teacher, I'm a facilitator, and while this person is speaking, I'm also a teacher, I'm also adding. So I can stop the CD whenever I want to. But then what happens is, when proper sentences are being spoken in the CD and I'm also repeating it, I'm also learning. I'm also becoming fluent. But what we've done for our teachers is, and this is the advantage because we are a corporate foundation, we have a staff of 20,000. I come from a telecom company. So we have a staff of 20,000 employees. We have connected a teacher to an employee. And that's an English mentoring program. So since our mobile phone calls are free, kind of, so in the evenings, twice a week, our employees call up teachers and we pre-decide the topic. Today we will talk about this. So our employees talk to them on that topic and they're supposed to reply back in English. That is how we do. The second, I'll answer that quickly. The idea of those summer camps is just to give them exposure. So even if I'm a class 1 child and here is a doctor, the doctor will tell a story about what it means to be a doctor, how much I had to study, and this is a stethoscope, this is an injection. So idea being, higher class children learn new vocabulary. The class 1 children only hear stories and they get to know, oh, doctor, and he had to study for 7 years before he became a doctor. So we ensure that our head teachers have a chat with them. Okay. Thank you very much.